So this is going to be a short tutorial on Oliver and the Basilisks. The first thing I wanted to do is explain the scoring too. And it's not that complicated on this in the simple game. We've got, you get 100 points for every basilisk you kill. You lose 20 points for every bit of rubble that you leave behind. And you have a turn target, which is 10 turns for the first few levels, and gradually goes up as the game goes on, though never more than 15 or 16, really. It doesn't get that much higher. And you get 200 points for making the turn target, and then an additional 50 points for every turn below the turn target you get. Making the turn target also allows you to potentially score meditation points, which I didn't here, but you have the meditate button over here, which makes you pass repeatedly, and for every turn beyond the first that you pass, you start scoring points, and it goes up exponentially. But you only get points for that if you make the turn target. So you also get a magic bonus, which is based on the number of magic items you use. Essentially, you get 600 points for not using any magic at all, 200 or 300 points if you only use one of the items, depending on which item it is, or 100 points if you use two of them, or no points if you use all three. So essentially you're rewarded for solving the levels as quickly and as elegantly as possible, in as few turns as possible, meditating if possible, and using as little magic as possible. So here we are on level 2, and the basic strategy in the low levels is that you definitely don't want to use your fire shield wand, because you need that for the high levels. You can use your teleport and your disintegrate, but if you teleport, it tends to take you longer to finish the level, and you're less likely to make it in the turn target. So ideally you want to look for ways that you're going to beat the level using only your disintegrate scroll. The way you do this is you look for pairs of basilisks, because the only basilisks that you can get to collide without teleporting are ones that are already lined up in the same row or column. So on this level we've only got these. As for how we're going to use our disintegrate effectively, well, these guys are going to produce a rock, and my objective is to get behind that rock to deal with all the other basilisks. Right now, what's impeding me from doing that, obviously, is this guy, because he's going to be in between me and the rock, whereas all of these guys are behind me. So therefore, if I move towards these guys and then disintegrate this guy at an ideal opportunity, then it should be easy enough for me to get behind the rock and solve the level. So that's my plan. So I move left. Now I'm lined up with this guy diagonally, so I can use my disintegrate scroll. Now by moving this way, I cause these guys to collide with just enough time to get behind the rock, deal with these guys. Now I also get to meditate for a few turns and score some bonus points. So as you can see, I got a good score for that level. So here we are on level 12, which is sort of the middle game. So your objective in the middle game is you're trying to avoid dying, obviously, but get through these levels using your fire shield wand as little as possible. Before about level 15, I would only use the wand if doing so would solve the level in one shot, that I could just use the wand once and then not have to teleport or use the wand again in order to finish off the level. So the basic strategy is still the same, though. We're looking for pairs of basilisks that are lined up. So these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, and these guys up here. So this is actually a very good configuration that I've got here, which is why I'm using this level as an example. I should be able to get through this level with sort of minimal magic use, because the basilisks are all nicely lined up with each other. So what you want to try to do is you want to try to make them collide all in sort of the same area of the screen, so you get a nice big pile of rocks all together, which gives you a lot of tactical options for maneuvering around and finishing off the rest of the basilisks. So usually you want to go towards the biggest open area of the screen where you've got basilisks lined up. So I've got guys down here, here, and here, and a lot of space around here. So I want to kind of head to the left and a little bit down and try to set up my fortress around here. So if I now pass, then all of these guys will collide. Now I'm going to move this way and get those guys to collide. And then by moving up, I'm going to get these guys to collide. And then back down. And now you can see the advantage of getting all these rocks together. Now I've got a convenient way to just solve the level. I can move behind these. And now, in fact, this rock is relevant too, because if I just stayed here, I couldn't wait long enough for this. Actually, no, you know what? Best thing to do is move up and to the left. And these two rocks are the import points. So I actually got through that level with no magic use at all, which is, of course, your ideal goal, and well under the turn target. Beyond level 20, we're in pretty much permanent desperation mode. There's so many basilisks, and by now we're starting to run short of fire shield charges, so we're just trying to surviving each level is our only real objective here, and if we can do so while saving a charge or two of fire shield for the next level, so much the better, but just getting through one more level is paramount at this point in order to maximize our score. So essentially you want to look for the maximum number of steps you can take before having to use some magic, and then all other things being equal, then how many basilisks you can make collide. So in this case, obviously I can't go in any of these directions. I can only go left or down and to the left, or pass, but in that case that's not what I want to do. If I go left, I make these guys collide, and then I'll have one more move that I can move down into the left, so taking 2 steps is... If you can take 2 steps before you have to do something, that's not bad past level 20, so... Okay. This point, teleport would still be very risky, and there's 4 basilisks around me, which is not a bad... not a waste of a fire shield, certainly, so we're going to do that. And now there's still... in fact, the level will probably resolve itself if I use fire shield again, so rather than risk a teleport, I'm just going to do that. Because now I've got a little fortress going here, so if I go this way and then this way, pass, and then, yeah. So there I managed to avoid teleporting altogether, which is definitely worthwhile.